Right guys, it's Dave from Wild Geese Fitness Training. This is part 5 of the Kettlebell Snatch tutorial. And today we're going to look at a couple of points really. The path the bell takes, so the path of the kettlebell, and also what we found is footwork. Alright? The kind of two go hand in hand, so as the path of the bell changes, your foot positioning and the action of the feet and the lower body starts to adjust. Initially, when you first learn the snatch, the simplest thing to do is keep the bell traveling in a vertical track here. Okay, so when you're snatching away, I'm not setting on the camera there, but I'll be using this wall shortly. Hopefully you can see this all right. As you're snatching away, the bell's going to travel in a vertical line up and down your midline, up and down the centre, okay? The bell takes priority over the centre, so as we discussed in the drop video, I lean back slightly to allow the bell come into the centre line, but right now, my head has the centre, I give that up, give it to the bell, and that allows quite a vertical track for the kettlebell to travel on, okay? Fairly simple, eh? Alright, it's just a direct progression from your swing. Yeah? Your swing comes to here, you just take it higher, yeah? Allow the bell come into the centre, and it drops down, and it's the swing again. Problems arise when, so I've got the light bell here, using that long arm. We talked about this briefly in the previous video. That long arm, creating a huge arc, so as that bell comes up, I'll use a lighter one so I can exaggerate a wee bit. Yeah? It comes up and around. It's going to cause an awful lot of problems at the top. And it also makes the drop very taxing on the grip and on the shoulder. Okay, so if you've got this going on, you're always going to struggle banging the wrist up, and you're going to find that your wrist and shoulder tire up very, very quickly. Okay? The simplest, most effective method of getting people to stop doing that is to use a self-teaching tool known as the wall. Measure yourself off an arm's length. Yeah? Now, not an extended arm's length, but if you're standing here and you can touch that wall with your fingertips, you're an arm's length away. Okay? Simple as that. From there, you should be able to snatch quite comfortably. Yeah? You should actually be able to do it much closer. Okay, how close am I there? That's a bent arm. A fist and an elbow, yeah? So, maybe, what's that? 3/4 of an arm away? You could see there how the body had to move, the shoulder pulled back. Maybe I'll give you some on the left hand, you can see better from the camera. Okay, so there's my distance. So you can see I have to lean and pull. Yeah, if I go even closer still, that'll exaggerate those movements. Okay? Very, very simple intervention to shorten that swing. What's referred to, like the commonly referred to as taming the arc. Basically pulling the bell in. So rather than it being a big arcing track, it now swings up and then travels vertically. Basically you need to eliminate that centrifugal force taking the bell out and away from you. Okay? In the drop video, we looked at the elbow flicking out. How can we talk about the elbow coming in? We can use the wall as well on that. And sure, poor Phil, I had one of my lads, Phil, doing this for months. Every warm-up. He'd start every snatch session, stood with his foot against the wall here, okay? Because he was one of these chicken wing guys. Alright, so from here, okay, I mean you see if any sort of movement out, away from my center line, away from the base, the wall's going to interfere with that. Yeah, if I start flaring the elbow out, if the kettlebell moves off to the side, you're going to know about it pretty quick, alright? If somebody's really bad, obviously you'll start them a few inches away and then gradually ease them in. Same with this. If they're really bad, start more than an arm's length away and then inch them gradually closer, Yeah, you know, if you're a coach, be sensible. If you're training your own, be sensible. Okay? So that's using the wall as an intervention for the path of the kettlebell and to help the lifter kind of self-correct a lot of the most common issues that you'll see. Okay? More on the subject of the kettlebell path, it doesn't always have to be vertical. Yeah? From here between the legs, yeah, if it comes up on a pure vertical line, that ain't going to happen. The bell's not going to be over my head. It's going to be here. It's going to be off to the side slightly. So technically, it's going on a slight diagonal track. Okay? We'll do this fairly slowly. To keep this truly vertical, it must finish there. Now that ain't good, is it? That's better, okay? It's above my shoulder, which is above my hip, which is above my foot. I've got a nice alignment down this side of the body. Yep, this is the load-bearing side of the body. Okay? To bring it back to center, as we discussed in the previous video, elbow must come in. Yeah? What if we just let it travel on a diagonal? Pretty cool, eh? Yeah? A little bit less to think about than that. Okay? To keep things simple, you take a slight step forward. And I mean a slight step forward, you're going half a step. Okay? You're not going to be sideways on, giving it all that. It's just a slight step forward, maybe half a foot forward. And that'll just give you a bit more space to get that through. But something interesting then happens. With this slight step, it'll allow my head to travel forward over the lead leg, back over the back leg. More so than when I'm here and I've got a smaller footprint. Okay? Where's that one? So if we take this slightly angled stance, I've already mentioned before that the head acts as a counterbalance to the weight of the bell. So when I lean back, I can lean a bit further back. As the bell swings behind me, I can go slightly further forward. Okay? And you end up with a real rocking motion. Yeah? This would be a relatively advanced technique, but if you can get this, it adds a shed load of power. Now you've got to have the bell path and all the other things dialed in before you get to this. So from here, so there's a lot more violence in that backswing. What else is that doing? I'm almost getting into like a windmill type posture. We all know that's great for the obliques, really hits into the outer glute, takes a lot of pressure off the immediate low back, yeah, brings it off to the side a little bit more. If your back is tweaky, I have a history of back injury, sometimes this is a better way to go, yeah. So not only are you adding more juice to each rep, potentially meaning you can snatch faster or snatch heavier, but potentially it can save your back a little bit. This is what I found in my personal experience. Some of my guys are sort of starting to take it on a wee bit, you know, but you do need to have everything else in place, I believe, before you go into this, all right? If you're not wanting to do that staggered stance, you still drive off that hip, you use the calves, yeah? The calves are very, very strong, very, very enduring. It's not all about the hip, you know. The movement is essentially from here, a jumping type action, or if you prefer, it's going to be like a jump pop off one side, yeah? Which if you're a combat athlete, the punch is driven, even your kicks are all driven from the ground, yeah? The calf is involved, it's not all about the hip. And I'll do slowly with this. So as we go, see that lift? Yeah? See how that extends the hip even further? Yeah? Rather than just being here and relying all on the back and the hip, yeah? Boost it. Yeah? There you go. Comes through. Use that foot. Yeah? You extend that further, this glute really does kick in, and the bell just floats up. Literally does float up, okay? So that's the footwork of the kettlebell, yeah? Some guys you'll see use both feet, it's more efficient just to use one, and then some guys will be on a stagger stance, whereas they swing forward on the lead leg, they're still lifting the heel to get that through. There's a lot in the snatch, okay? All we're covering is the introductory, the basics, but there you have the intervention for the bar, the bell travel, using the wall, and we have the footwork. The two of them kind of go hand in hand. Once the bell travel is sorted out, you can then start playing around with stagger stances, adding in the feet, okay? If you have any questions on the snatch, don't be afraid to drop me an email, a message on Facebook, whatever. With more videos coming up on this. This is Dave from Wild Geese Fitness Running. Thanks for watching.